Hey guys, this is Wubblepig for hsng.com. Hopefully you guys would have seen on the site that I'm going to be working the HSNG Poker Camp in Colorado from September to October with Rypak and Coffier. I'll be there as a spins coach, assisting Coffier with everything that he does. Just wanted to give a quick introduction of myself playing spins live. So we're going to be playing a $100 spin on PokerStars, which is obviously the highest stake that you can play at the moment. And I'm playing against two players that I'm not familiar with, that I perceive to be recreationals, and will just be employing a readless strategy that I always use when playing against two players I'm not familiar with. So fingers crossed we ship a big one, and I hope you enjoy it. So just a straightforward 2x, and as mentioned before, just going to be playing a standard strategy against two unknown players. Ace-5 off, obvious defend from the big blind here. Thankfully we get a check. I'm just going to take our showdown value here. No reason to turn into a bluff, just going to check it down. And pretty straightforward check on the river. Again, no need to turn it into a bluff. Unfortunately, we're good. King Queen suited, obviously a very strong hand. It's going to be a hand that we're going to want to defend from the small blind here. Quite a troublesome flop, obviously, with the 3 clubs out there, so we're not going to be getting in on this board. And when he checks back and the club rolls off, just going to check down and have to fold to a bet. And yeah, against that sizing, just going to have to fold our pair here, obviously with no flush. Not a line I expect to take him to take without a flush in that situation. Straightforward fold from the button. Again, to Broadway, pretty straightforward defend from the big blind here. And we flop a gut shot, but obviously to that c-bet sizing and the fact that we don't even know for sure that our outs are clean, and the board hitting his range here with the ace, we're just going to give it up. Not overcomplicate situation. Not quite strong enough to defend from the small blind here. Just going to min-raise ace-king, obviously very straightforward stuff. We'll be getting it in against a 3-bet, and if we get 3-bet non-all-in, we'll just be 4-bet jamming. Jack 3 suited will be defending here. Is just about strong enough to defend from the big blind against the button open. Flop misses us, other than a backdoor flush draw, and then the ace comes on the turn, and if he's going to bet here, again, just a very straightforward give up. No need to get fancy and try any moves here. That ace definitely hits his range, so straightforward give up versus an unknown. King 3 off, not good enough to call an all in, of course. 10 deuce off, straightforward fold from the button once more. Player's been reasonably active, but nothing to suggest that he's getting out of line yet. Could definitely just be card distribution, running reasonably well. So we're not going to be making any huge moves against him. And ace-jack suited, pretty straightforward call to the open jam. Nothing spectacular there. We're just glad to hold, and then we go heads up against what we perceive to be quite an aggressive player. Jack 4 off, very weak, but probably a little too strong just to open fold readless in a heads up situation, and is pretty happy to give up to any ISO. 9 deuce off, very easy check back, flop no equity whatsoever, and nice easy give up. Again, like we said before, we're not going to be doing anything too complicated, just a nice readless strategy against a player we don't know too much about. And looks like we may have to scale back our limping somewhat because he's been quite aggressive. Just going to jam over his limp here with ace-6 off. Doesn't play all that well post, so much better just to ship over his limp. No indication that he's limp trapping as yet. And as we've seen from the last few hands, he has been quite aggressive, and we can't stand an ISO with 8 deuce off, and it plays poorly post, so it's just an easy fold. Queen 5 off, definitely strong enough to defend against the frequent opener, and again we have a backdoor straight draw and backdoor flush draw, but they're not very strong, so definitely overcomplicating matters if we try check raising here, or floating. So we're just going to give up and look to push our edge into some more value heavy spots. Here we're going to try min raise just to keep the lead in the hand. Obviously he's been ISOing quite wide, so we'd rather just take the lead with a hand like Queen 4 suited, and if we get 3-bet we can just give up, and we get it in with ace 8 suited against ace 4 suited. Very standard situation, and chop, no big deal. Queen 3 off again, same applies from the last hand. He's been active with the ISOing, so just going to switch slightly to a more min raise heavy strategy. 5-6 suited, plenty strong enough to defend. Flop a gut shot, but no overcards and no guarantees that our outs are clean, so again won't be making a move on this board. King 9 off, could definitely limp it, but for the same reasons that with the Queen 4 and the Queen 5, we're just going to min raise it and try to keep control of the hand. Unfortunately we get blown off of it. 10-9 off, not good enough this deep to call a jam. 7-10 off, we are going to try limping again. Could definitely be that he was running well in those situations when he was ISOing quite widely. And here when we flop top pair on this board, I think we are safe just to get it in. We are going to be outkicked a couple of times, and he is going to have some 2-pair combinations in his check back range, but I think we are safe just to get it in here. We're not really too excited about seeing too many turn cards, and we get a fold. Queen 9 off, going to ISO this for value again. Not really seen anything from him to suggest that he's limp trapping, so we're just going to raise this up for value and get a fold, which is a decent outcome. 4-3 off, going to go back to our min raise strategy. Doesn't play very well post, so we can't really face an ISO with a limp, and we're not going to take it down too often, I don't think, against an aggressive player, so just try min raise, take it down, but no good. And Queen 4 off, easy defend, flop a middle pair. He seems to be c-betting quite often. I think he's c-bet every situation so far, so this time we are going to tear one off with middle pair. But when he double barrels with our second pair, weak kicker, I do think this is a spot where we have to give up. He does have a decent amount of king x in his range, and even if he's double barreling a queen x, we're obviously in jail with our kicker, so straightforward fold, I think. Jacks, yeah, given what we know about him and his active ISOing, we're just going to limp and hope to get it in. Don't really want to get it in on this flop, so I'm just going to check back here and value at the turn. And he bets full pot, which is kind of scary. He definitely could have some low queen x in his check back range, so we're just going to take a passive line here and call. And then when none of the draws complete, it would be a spot where we could call a smaller bet, but when he makes it that sizing, I think that we do have to give up with just a essentially second pair in this spot. He could definitely have any combination of 2 pairs and some queen x, so just going to fold and try and find a better spot. 6-7 suited, just a little bit too wide to call for 9 big blinds there. And Queen 10 suited, we're just going to open jam for value. Going to be playing mostly Nash now at 5 big blinds deep. And this is going to be a call, according to Nash. And indeed we're ahead. And have the suit dominated, which is always nice. And we fade. 8-3 off. Just going to open fold at this depth. Not going to do anything too fancy against this player. And he opens chips and a very straightforward call with ace-6 off. And don't manage to fade. So, quite a straightforward game there, nothing too exceptional. Quite an aggressive player made it difficult for us, but I think that we played a reasonable strategy, just taking some passive lines and waiting to make money with our value hands. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you at the HS&G camp in Colorado. Thanks for watching.